wife. Welcome to the Grizzled Kingdom. I am your grizzly host, and I will be taking you on a ride through the stars to Star Citizen this time, and we'll be exploring the 400i for good times. My wife will be joining us. Say hey, wife.
Hey, wife.
Jerk. Did that on purpose. And my son, who doesn't know how to talk yet, will be currently looking at his little sailboat book, I should say.
Book for the sailboat.
And I'll be slowly lulling my newborn to sleep. Good times. But as I do this, I like to be productive. Yes. I could just watch YouTube while I wait for my boys to go to sleep, but I have decided that that's a waste of my time. So now instead I'm going to record videos for YouTube. So, suck it. Whoa, yeah.
That's a hermit crab.
Hermit crab. Which reminds me of the terrapin, but we're going to be talking about the 400i, so shh, no. Be as loud as you want. This is not going to be a professional stream. I'm pretty sure you can hear the... You realize everybody else hasn't heard that for like 6-7 years, 4 years?
I'm so behind.
If you don't know what she's referencing, what's his name? The guy screaming over the mountains?
That was like Bill something where just over.
Whatever. You get it. Loud shouts. But so, the long-awaited 400i has finally graced our spatial...
Oh, it's Jimmy Barnes.
Jimmy Barnes.
No Bill
Yes, the
guy.
400i has graced Jimmy Barnes' voice, and they will go shouting out into the netherworld, screaming their rage, their joy. He looks happy. Screaming their joy to... did I say the nether? Oh, I don't know. I guess he's screaming at Cthulhu this time. No wonder. So that's why Cthulhu wants to eat us. He heard the voice and he's coming for us. What's his name? He's coming for that guy.
Jimmy Barnes.
Guess do we sacrifice him or protect him? Anyway, back to the 400i. We've been waiting a long time. They've pulled our chains. They've said, "Oh, it exists." "Oh no, it doesn't exist." And finally, it's here. And I think we can all agree it looks beautiful, except for the Drake aficionados who are like screeching in their ugly ships saying, it's not ugly enough, guys. It's too pretty. I don't like it. Looks too much like a boat. We want starships here, not boat ships. Wait, boat stars? In another universe, instead of spaceships, they call them boat ships. No, wait, not boat stars. Starboats? I guess that's catchy. So, our starboat here, the 400i. I'm going to get a little into the weeds
Is it a
here.
5-star boat?
Ooh.
Oh.
It's going for that look. Is a dedicated Pathfinder / Explorer / Percy man. Well, Percy, not the right. It could be a Percy man's boat. Though I've seen some Drake guys out there, man. I don't know. Anyway. It's a 3-man crew, three booties in the seats, 3 seats. It's a medium, it's a, so hey, guys, you come on here to listen to a man stutter a bit. No, I will not edit it out. I will leave it all in. I won't be like those punks,
Think about those hip-hop songs.
those professional punks who edit out all their mistakes and try to pretend they're perfect. We know you're not perfect. Hey, but it's professionalism, so, it sounds good and it flows. Shut up. Go to the hell mouth Hollywood if you want perfection made fake perfection. So, yeah. Anyway.
Octopus.
Octopussy? Did I say that on the recording?
Octopus.
Well, it's going in. We're doing it live.
That reminds me of the Batman thingy.
The Batman pussy?
No, the Batman thing.
Okay, if any of you guys have a 400i
Do you
and
remember that Batman thing?
the Buttman thing?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh. She's talking about Bat Metal. If any of you, if they ever get around to letting us paint on our spaceships, somebody with a 400i, you must paint the Bat Metal Batman riding an Octopussy into the stars. It's a requirement now. You must do it. Yeah. Anyway, So,
Turtle.
I am both ecstatic and a little annoyed with this ship. Ecstatic that it exists, happy that it looks exactly the way I wanted it to look. It's beautiful. I also thoroughly enjoy a lot of the interior, a lot of the knickknacks they added, so practical stuff like a nice big rack for guns. I'm all about them guns, if you know what I mean. A fair. I'm laughing to myself as I get distracted by my son's shenanigans. But a fair amount of my words are failing me. Okay, storage space for suits.
That's called a closet.
No, but armored closets, wife. But
That's called an armory.
There's closets too, actually.
And then there's an armory. Yeah.
And the little bike elevator and all the other fun stuff. It's good times. I'm actually, if you read the description, it also says that it's going to have a scanning suite. So that little table in the back that has no use right now, in the future when they bring in the intense deep scanners, doesn't sound perfect to me, the deep probing scanners. Wife's giving me a look like you're trying too hard. No, I just thought it was funny. Anyway.
Forcing.
Oh no, sexual innuendos everywhere. Don't ask me why I have so many kids. Shut up. You'd have so many kids if you had a wife like mine too. Anyway, so.
But you don't, so
What if they do?
They're not Ukrainian, you know.
If you have a Ukrainian wife, then you'd understand. Anyway.
That's true.
So that little hollow table in the back. Eventually, I assume it's going to be connected to the scanner suites, which is going to give it a lot of utility for exploration and pathfinding. So, oh my gosh, my son is playing peekaboo with my wife right now, and it's very distracting. So so if a 100i is playing peekaboo with a 400i, or is it peekaboo set? No, I was trying for something there and it just fell apart. This is the equivalent of a sexy mama 400i play. There we go. Playing peekaboo with a 100i in the corner. Anyway, so.
How many eyes is that?
That's a lot of eyes. Oh my god. Too many eyes. Gosh. What if they eventually do a skin with the amount of eyes in the name, so the 100i has 100 eyes painted on it, the 400i has.
I don't want
That's a lot of eyes.
to. I don't want to spend time.
Contemplating.
No, counting each eye
to make sure they did it right.
To make sure I get the right spaceship.
I think there's other things that suggest that it's.
Yeah, how crowded the paint job is.
Sure. So that's going to be cool later. It adds a lot to the utility to the ship. And that's one of the reasons why I assume they tried to say that it's a competitor to the Constellation series. I presume they mean the Constellation Aquila, to all you fancy pants boys out there. Aquila. It's the Connie's special scanner version for exploration. Because it's the exploration voice. In a town.
Would you go on a tour guide's trip if you talk like that?
Wouldn't you? Like if a tour guide talked like that the whole time, wouldn't you want to join? And over here we have the rare peekaboo cock. And it peekaboos at night. We watch it in its traditional mating dance as it comes near to our vehicle and consumes your cousin. It'd be funny if you guys could see my wife right now, because she's giving me the Ukrainian glare. It's quite entertaining. But back to the Aquila. So,
you just make it sound like constipated.
Maybe explorers are always constipated. After all, they don't have anywhere to poop half the times. Anyway.
Sounds like you just had an intense turd come out.
Careful, wife. That is not what it sounds like when you do it. Oh, thank you, Bubba. I was talking about something. Oh yes, the Aquila. No, I'm just doing it to annoy my wife. I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. This is my video. I can annoy my wife as long as I want. So back to the 400i. The thing is, if we look at the 400i and its grand total, it has medium components except for...
1,000?
Its medium components, except for its shield, which is a large component. They did recently upgrade its capacitors, so its pew-pews can go longer.
Bubba.
So, yeah, pew-pews go longer, babe. Shoots longer. That's what capacitors are for. What do you think about that down there? Yeah. So, these are all good, but... You know, looking at it, I have to agree with Minion Soldier. If you've seen his video, I recommend you do. I'll try to remember to put it in the description. Where he says, this isn't really a competition to the Connie series as much as a competition to the Cutlass and the Freelancer medium ships. And quite frankly, I have to agree. I really do. You may say something silly like, oh, but it's 60 meters long. It's just as long as a Connie. And I would like to point out, yes, but it's much thinner and not as tall. The Connie sneaks a lot more into itself, thus why it has more SCU, larger capacitors, and big pew-pew guns. And of course it has a combat variant for a gunship, and then blah 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 blah. Though, oddly enough, the 400i has 32 missiles. So that's more missiles than what the Constellation has. Though I think the Constellation might have more size 2s.
No more. Put it that one.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. Right? But,
over here.
When you look at its hard points, its medium components, except for its shield, its storage capacity only having 42 SCU. Hey wife, for all the newbies in the crowd, SCU is their standard something unit, so that's how many storage boxes you can hold. Fun. More storage. More things to sell and buy. Good? She's giving me funny faces right now, but you guys can't see those faces. Oh well.
That's the big you.
So, the people... When you compare it to the Freelancer / Cutlass variants and all that, it becomes a much more reasonable ship, and actually a pretty good ship, right? You know, comparing it to a Connie is a little unfair, because a Connie has 4 size 5 hard points, even on the Aquila. And all my wife can think of is, that sounds pretty pervy. Size 5 hard points, and 4 of them at that, huh? That means...
Exhausting.
That means they can have 4 size 4 guns slave to the pilot's control, and they're all gimbaled. 4 size 4s, baby, that can point in any direction they want.
I cannot look at the compass the same way.
The compass? 4 points. Pointed any way they want. So... It's a little unfair, even if you compare it to the Aquila, which I compare it to, because the Aquila loses its big boy bad turret on top. I forget how big it is, but it's a lot of guns. That the Constellation...
No, it's a bad boy.
It's a bad boy, and it's big. It's a big bad boy. The Andromeda has that makes it more into a gunship. And so the firepower is a little more manageable. But not so much, because it still gets those 4 size 5 hard points, while the 400i only has 2, count 'em, 2 size 4 hard points. Woo! Yeah. Of course, the turrets have size 3s, which is a plus in its favor, since I think the turrets on the Aquila are smaller. But the point being... What are you doing? When you look at the firepower, the fact that the Aquila can carry 100 something, like I think it says, is it just a straight 100? You guys can correct me. There's somewhere around 100 SCU, while the 400i only has 42. And, you know, of course, there's large components in the Connies. If I remember correctly. God, I hope I remember that part correctly. And their size and extra stuff, like having a little parasite fighter and all the rest. You start to go, well, where does the 600i rest in here? Well, the answer A is it's $100 cheaper in real money. Or is it like $80 to $100 cheaper in real money? and, well, we'll see how much it costs in the game. By the way, I don't... Unless you are one rich boy, I suggest waiting to buy most, if not all, ships in-game. Okay? Okay. Hundreds of dollars for a spaceship in a video game.
How many boxes of diapers is that?
So, unfortunately, like 4 at best.
If they're in size the older boys are in, yes, it would be about maybe 5 boxes of those pull-ups. But then if we get newborn diapers, that's like 2 boxes of newborns.
This has been spaceships with the Grizzlies, and how many diapers you could stuff in them.
Now, if you want to stuff diapers in spaceships, you'll need more boxes than that. But if you're going to buy a spaceship compared to buying diapers...
But I can't fly diapers. But I can't use a spaceship to clean up poop, I think.
Poop is
Maybe it has a
stupid.
vacuum.
Oh, that's a spaceship stuff.
Anyway, this video is getting long, so I need to get more to the point here. So,
Le Puente.
Le Puente. What I'm getting at here, it becomes much more reasonable when you compare it to the freelancers.
¿Dónde es Puente?
No es La Puente. Freelancers and the Cutlass variants, because even if you just compare the ships right next to each other, you'll notice that if you cut off the nose, which really doesn't have much to the ship other than looks.
I can't nose dive.
Other than looks and the gravity room, which why does it even have a gravity room? The Connies don't have gravity rooms and they're bigger, but this one's gravity room and the little X1 bike elevator garage thing, which only holds the X1. But there's no X1 in game yet, so I guess it's just useless space right now. So if you cut that section off, you take off 10-15 meters of the ship, and you've put it more in line with freelancers and cutties, just a little longer and a little bigger. It is both a big and a small ship.
A medium ship.
Yeah. Yes. Though a larger medium ship. But this is the way you guys got to think of it. Just like how the 600i isn't really quite comparable to a Carrack for obvious... for obvious reasons, but it's obviously bigger and has more meat to it than a Constellation. The 400i is obviously not comparable to the Connies, but yet it has more meat to it than the Freelancers and the Cutlass variants. So it's an in-between ship, and I like that. That's a plus in its area. So, more maneuverable than Connies, faster than Connies, and with the updates, it should be like that, but
it's just great.
but less maneuver, but less maneuverable and less firepowered in some ways than the Cutlass and the Freelancers. Now that said, you should probably compare it more to the Freelancer. My favorite name for a ship, the Freelancer the Thor Freelancer, the Penis Dur ship. The Penis Dur ship, because that's an Explorer variant with larger fuel tanks and smaller storage as a result. It's a 4-man crew, and yeah, that's a good way to compare the two, because the, oh, hang on, my wipes are open. No! All of you children understand that. Oh no, my son, who's supposed to be in bed, is making noises.
You finally pooped?
You finally pooped. Hey guys, do you want to think about poop when you think about buying fancy spaceships? It has a bathroom, if that helps. There's going to be pooping on this ship.
It's called a poop deck.
It has a poop deck. Anyway, so...
I don't want to hit the deck if there's a poop deck.
Will I buy a 400i? The answer is no, but that's a trick question because, quite frankly, I'm not going to buy any ship over $100. That's just not how it works. I buy everything in-game, but am I going to try to save up for a 400i? Well, that depends. Jeez, there's so much noise behind me. It depends, because currently there's some hub going on because...
That you want to buy me a puppy.
Yeah, I wanted to buy you a puppy, but I can't buy you a puppy with digital money. The fake digital money. Like, super fake digital money because that money is
This is called cryptocurrency.
No, it's like super fake. Like there's crypto,
It's
which
called Bitcoin.
no, it's like
I'm
you know how
joking.
there's like super straight. This is like super fake because it's alpha.
Super
It's alpha
fake.
money. It's gonna go bye bye when the game is officially launched.
It's gonna be spread out. The money's spread out over all the alphas.
Yes, that was the
Alpha money.
social sexual hierarchy for all of you not into it, Inuit, in
Inuited.
what she said. So,
Quotes. What she quoted.
if they get their heads out of their ass, like I love CIG, but sometimes they make these weird choices. How can you can find a way? There's teleportation and things. Anyway.
That's gay.
Yeah. Anyway, because they raised it up enough so that you could squeeze a rock and what was it? A tumbler TR into that little storage bay, which was great. You know, the Cutlass has 46 SCU and it can carry both of those. So it's only fair to have a competitor to that can actually pick those up as well. But they were saying that they were going to take it back because apparently it bounced too much while landing. Which I'm instantly confused because all the guys I watched who drove the thing during that patch didn't seem to have any more trouble with the bouncing and the landing.
Oh, they just had epilepsy.
Yeah. So it seems strange to me. Hopefully they realize that people would rather have a little more bumpy of a landing, but be able to actually get vehicles inside their 400i. Oh, son. Or shall I say the taller vehicles? You can get the shorter tumblers inside there, and I think a couple of the grav bikes. Just not into the X1 thing. That's again only for the X1. Though I heard a funny idea that you could stuff someone in there and then close it. I don't.
It's called your X for one.
For X1.
It only fits for one X.
It's the brig for your X. Anyway, so that's kind of my thing. I love land vehicles, and I want to have more options with the land vehicles. It's not necessarily the end of the world. It's one of those things when I buy something like a Cutlass, a Freelancer, I want that style of medium ship. I want to be able to do a little bit of everything. I don't want to necessarily be the best at anything, because if you have the best ship at everything, why would you buy any other ship? Why would you if you had that's a gamma mentality. My ship is better than all the other ships combined. You can't touch me, neither. So, as I was saying, and my wife's shocked look will go away, is
why you do this to me?
Because I can't. I probably will, but I might get a Cutlass first, is what I'm saying. And it'll be more for fun or for straight up long range exploration. Because I don't. I could see myself saving up for a character someday. Not with real money. I have children, you crazy bastards, with in game money. But that would take a long time.
You get a wife.
I got a wife too. And I'm not a huge fan of the Connie series. I like them well enough. But I kind of like this. Connie series is a little too big. A little too big to solo or only have one other person with. So I kind of like this in-between larger ship that has everything you need for a long ass ride. But, right, there's just a few things design-wise I don't understand. Right? Why not make it a little taller? I know the bouncing issue, but come on. How about try to fix the bouncing issue and have it a little taller? Because we're talking about like a foot, like a space of this big. I'm making a space for my wife that you guys can't see, but yeah, just a tiny bit. Like, I couldn't even see the difference on the 400i when they stretched it out a little bit to allow it in. So why not just do that and worry about the bouncing as you go? Please. But the other design things I don't understand is, and this is the big one to me, is A, why make the X1 bike garage only fit the X1 bikes? That's kind of dumb. It might be able to fit the Ranger because the Ranger is technically smaller, but the X1 bike's not in game, guys. Don't know if you know, and it doesn't carry any SCU. So why not just, it's a explorer ship, and like I said earlier, explorer ships are supposed to be jacks of all trades because you're out there by yourself with no
Who's
utilities.
Jack and why does he have all the trades?
I don't know, stinking Jack. All by yourself, and there's generally only going to be one or support ship or no support ship with you. So it needs to be self-sufficient as best as possible for its size. So why not give it more options? It only makes sense. And that goes with fitting the rock inside as well. And I really don't understand. They didn't even have to do anything crazy like change the geometry. All they had to do was put their stupid little gravity room in the forward tiny compartment and make the bigger compartment that's currently the gravity room the bike garage. Because I'll show you a picture of it later. But it's basically a larger room, which is this gravity room, and then there's a smaller room that's a gravity grav bike garage.
So it's like having a 2-car garage. One is bigger than the other.
Except you fill it with a useless room that has no gameplay to it.
Yeah, that's called a gym.
No, it's like putting a fake gym.
Fake gym.
So it's like a picture or like a bunch of foam gym pieces. You take up a bunch of space and then a tiny space for a car.
And of course, it's a smart car.
Yes. But a special smart car that only fits that smart car that you can't buy yet.
Wow.
Or you can buy, but they won't deliver it for who knows how long. That's the
equivalent. Because it uses electricity charge instead of gasoline. Got it.
That's the frustration. And
you still need to recharge the battery. Good work.
No, my preference would be to get rid of the gravity room anyway, because bigger ships like the Connie have, as I brought up, do not have gravity rooms or gravity control rooms. I was under the impression that only like subcap ships and really large ships needed the gravity control room. So why do bigger ships not need it, and thus are able to use all of their interior space for actual useful materials, like excuse me, boy. Excuse me, we're going to quickly do some shell game. If you guys hear a bleep, that's because I didn't want you to know my son's name. No offense against you. So, as I was saying, that gravity room has zero gameplay. It might have some gameplay later, but ships bigger than it and ships smaller than it and ships around the same size don't have these gravity rooms. And unless they add them, I declare it to be a waste of space. And I wish they would do whatever gameplay they were going to do with gravity control that they're going to do in those smaller and bigger and ships around its same size. That way we could actually have something useful, like a bigger bay in the front with more storage, so you could get something like 50 SCU, or maybe even a small buggy in the front, which would be cool, or even be able to get into the vehicle before it goes down onto the planet, which you can't do. That's right, wife. Now imagine you have a garage.
With a garage door opener?
But you can't get into it from the house. You have to get out in the pouring rain and open the garage door and then get on in your car and drive away. Is that annoying? This is very annoying. That annoys me. And again, it didn't have to happen. Even if they don't just get rid of the gravity room, they could have switched places. Because remember, this is a total fictional room. It doesn't need to be a specific size. And all the other gravity rooms are bigger than it. So you might as well have just made it smaller anyway and just said, ooh, space magic. Because by the way, that's all this is anyway, is space magic. Anyway, right? And then had the room closer to the walkway be the room with the bike, so you could get on your bike and then exit your ship. But no. No, senor. Okay. Despite all that, it's a good ship. I like it. I probably will get it. Hopefully they'll get their heads out of their asses and let you drive a rock in. And also, I'd like to see some variants. I know they say there aren't any variants planned, but every other ship class that it's being compared to has variants. The Connies has like 4 variants. The Freelancers, 4 variants. The Cutlass has 3. It only makes sense to give us some variants. And the obvious ones I mean, gunship seems to make I'm like, people are like, what do you mean gunship? Add a turret on top of like size 5 guns, and change out the hard points on the front of the end of the ship for a size up, so they're size 5 hard points. Bada bing, bada boom, you got a mini little fancy pants gunship. Add some more gun racks. Make it a little slower, take away some of the tanks. Ooh, change out the X1 stupid bike bay for a torpedo room with like 5 or 6.
Diaper? You going ooh?
Ooh, I gotta hurry this up. Like 5 or 6 torpedoes. Bam, you have a gunship with some torps. Good times. Good times. Did I have another variant in my head somewhere?
It's kudos.
I mean, there's always, what did they do with the 100i? Oh yeah, they made an actual cargo variant. So it'd be kind of cool to see a 400i fancy pants cargo variant. Take out some of those extra fuel tanks or something, and give it like 150 USU. Be fun. Yeah, be fun. Find a way. Anyway, I digress. I'd like to see some variants. Like to see some small changes, and it would be a beautiful ship for what it's meant to be. Also, CIG, can we get a fancy pants gunship in the 500i when you eventually make it? Thank you. Grizzled Kingdom out.